What's up, everyone? George Leeman here with MuscleMasochist.com. A lot of people ask me what my lifts were when I started training and stuff like that, just so they can get a comparison to where I started versus where they're starting. I started off a lot heavier than most people, or than a lot of people, at least for my age. I was 215 pounds when I started on my 14th birthday, like to the day. And when I went to the gym, obviously the first workout, I think I did like some 25-pound dumbbell benches and stuff like that. But the first time I ever actually benched was probably about 2 or 3 weeks into training. I was a little bit intimidated by barbell exercises, I think, when I first started. And I benched 105 for one and missed 115. 115 was a little heavy for me. I remember in the beginning, because I didn't know what I was doing, it took me quite a bit longer than it really even should have to get stronger. It probably took me upwards of like 20 weeks to go from 105 for one to like 145 or 150 or something like that. It was a really slow process for me. I didn't start squatting and deadlifting until I was almost 15. I had already been doing leg press and rows, whatever row machine I was doing, pull down, stuff like that. I'd already been training legs to a large degree. I would do leg extensions, leg curls, not exactly on a schedule, but it's definitely something I did regularly, like probably every week. And I believe the first time I ever deadlifted, I did sumo, and I did it with a hitch, and I did it using straps, and I got up to 295 for one. Mind you, this was me trying to test my max, so I had done 135, 185, 200, 225, 250, 275, 285 and 295. So I might have had like 315, but this was an all-out max. I was not strong enough to actually do it without cheating. I had to hitch and like rest the bar on my knees and re-grip and stuff like that. So, I mean, you could say I started off deadlifting like 275, realistically speaking, which for, a 220-pound kid who's been training for 7 months is, nothing special. But, obviously I did start off lifting more than some people in that lift. Squats, I started squatting after I even had been deadlifting. I'd been training deadlifts for months before I even tried really squatting. And I think the first workout I did 135 for 10, and I fell backwards and stopped doing them for a while. Then I kept getting stronger on deadlifts. I think I got my deadlift up to the mid-fours, mid-high fours, and I got back into squats. And I found I could do, I think I did 225 with a milk crate my first time deadlifting, or squatting heavy. And then I did, shortly after that, I got up to 315 in about 3 weeks. I got up to about 300 pounds. I ran a program called like the Blaster Squat program, and I went from about 225 to about 300 pounds without the box in about 3 weeks. Then I went back to deadlifting, and I focused on deadlifting again for a while. I was not a big fan of squats, and I ended up coming back and being able to do 350 for like a triple on squats. So my first time trying squats, I could probably do, 185 pounds, 200 pounds. And this is, again, after about a year of training. And, again, I was probably 220, 230 at the time, and was basically, I was 15 years old at that time. I had just turned 15. About 10 weeks after turning 15, I worked out all summer, and I could bench about 215. So over 14 or 15 months of training, I got my bench up 110 pounds, which I was pretty happy with. I was starting to understand training. I was getting into it a lot. I started keeping a training log online and stuff like that. And then I got really serious into powerlifting, and I got my deadlift up to about 500 for 5 while I was 15, right before turning 16. By the time I was 16, my natural testosterone levels were higher. I knew what I was doing, and I had basically decided that I wanted to go into powerlifting and be as strong as possible. And that's when all my lifts, skyrocketed. I got up to around 700 on deadlifts and stuff, 675 maybe when I was 16, and I could squat 675 in knee wraps when I was 16. So it was I started off very fat, very weak. I couldn't see my bicep lump when flexing when I first began. Nothing at all, just tubes of cookie dough. And it took a while to understand what I was doing, but once I did and decided what I wanted to do with my training, obviously then my genetics became more obvious to me, which is, I find a lot of people don't understand their genetics until they try different training styles like I did, because most of them are rather poor. They're telling you can't make very fast progress, so you shouldn't be trying to make very fast progress, telling you can only train so often, etc., etc. So once I figured things out a little bit better for myself, then I became strong. In the beginning, I was a very fat, very weak kid, and a lot of people ask me that, so I figured I'd tell you guys. Did not start off with epic genetics by any means. Took a long time to not be fat, to be even decently, moderately strong for my weight, etc. So I hope that explains it to some of you guys. I wasn't always very strong. I mean, it must be genetic, but I didn't know in the beginning. As always, guys, thanks for watching my videos. Don't forget to subscribe for more and share and like and stuff like that. And check out musclemasochist.com for New Year's coaching specials, which will be ending at the end of this month. If you want to get a hold of it, email me or something like that. It's $2.99 for 6 months, and it's going to be gone in a few days if you're interested. Also throwing in a free t-shirt for everyone who signs up just because. And thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe for more.